Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Motorcycle Rewind, and today we're with none of these. We're going to talk about bucket list motorcycles, mainly my bucket list motorcycles. Let's get into it. Putting motorcycles on your bucket list could be as simple as just picking the most valuable motorcycles in the world, which is totally fine. I did it a little different. You know, on my bucket list, as we get into it, you're not going to see a Vincent Black Shadow. You're not going to see a Kawasaki H2 or a Z1 or even a Sandcast CB750. My bucket list is just about what motorcycles I find interesting. Doesn't mean they're rare or super valuable. It's just motorcycles I find interesting to me. So guys, right now we currently have about 16 motorcycles. I say about 16 motorcycles because you see this CB750 that is, it wants to be a motorcycle. It was one at one time and it wants to be one again. A couple of years ago, I made the decision that I didn't have to own all the motorcycles. I wanted to take the ones I had and convert them into the ones I wanted. But to do that, I had to come up with a list. And so I started going through and making a list of the motorcycles that I wanted to collect. And that group of motorcycles that I came up with aren't the most valuable or the rarest motorcycles in the world. They're the motorcycles that I'm interested in and that are interesting to me. It's finding a list that inspires me, something I want to aspire to be and something to get to, which doesn't mean I love this Moto Guzzi 850T. It's not what I want, it's what I have. So can I leverage this and help me get to where I want? So as we go through our list, I challenge you to make your own and share down below what's on your list, what's on your bucket list. And if it's a Vincent Black Shadow, go ahead and put it on. Somebody's got to own them. Let's get into the list. So guys, this list in no particular order. The first one that we're going to go through is a 1975 Honda GL1000, the very first Goldwing. Why? Because it was such a departure from everything that Honda had done previous. I really appreciate the early models that were naked, that didn't have the big fairing, didn't have the big bags, that were just a big old beefy motorcycle. I love that. That's why it's on my list. 75 or 76 I'd be into. The 76 came with a yellow. They had a yellow color, which I think would just be amazing. I am a visual person, so a lot of the motorcycles that you'll see on my bucket list are picked for visual reasons. They may not be the most technologically sound or earth-shattering in that regard, but they stir something in me based on the way they look. And this first one, the 1975-76 Goldwing, perfect. And I say 75 or 76 because I'll take either one of them. So the second one on our list, on Eric's bucket list of crazy motorcycles that he wants, and this one is kind of eclectic. Like I said, it's a wild list. Early 60s Sears Allstate Cruisaire. Well, what a Sears Allstate Cruisaire is basically a Vespa that was sold through the Sears and Roebuck catalog. Now, why are you saying, Eric, was the Sears version better than the other one? No, it was exactly the same. But I love it for a couple of reasons. First off, the badging on the early ones was this great outline of the US that said Allstate across it, which I think is amazing. And the second reason, and the other reason why I think it's on my list, is because then Sears was the Amazon of its day. And they had so much stroke that they told Vespa that if you want to sell your motorcycle through your scooter through our catalog, we need you to name it what we want you to name it. And they said, okay. That I think is astounding to me. Wow, Sears had them. And the styling is exactly, it's a Vespa. The only difference is the badging, which I think is incredible. So that's number 2. So I do have a Honda CB750 on my bucket list. And you guys may be saying, well, Eric, don't you already own a CB750? I've got a carcass of one over there, and I've got a 79 CB750 K. But my favorite models of the CB750 is between 73 and 75. I think that that is the best styling that they did. There's two that I'm very partial to. The Sunrise Flake Orange is incredible. That one and the maroon, the red one, I can't remember what the color's called, garnet or something like that. Can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's incredible. I think that that styling of the CB750 is perfect. It's the way motorcycles should have been built. 73 to 75, I think is perfect. So that's why it makes the list. So number 4, and this is one that's on my bucket list, but it's one I already own, and it's a Kawasaki W1. The 650, Kawasaki W1 650, an amazing motorcycle, basically a British-Japanese motorcycle. The Y on the right case cover, perfect. Just that side, the side profile, the right side is just amazing. And it's incredible. It's one of my, first off, I am a sucker for chrome side covers. On the tank, I'm all in. It was one that was on my list. It's a bucket list motorcycle, and I was able to work up to it and acquire it. Just a quick pause from our bucket list to give you time just to hit the subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Go ahead and hit subscribe, and let's get back to the list. So number 5 on our bucket list motorcycles, and again, this is one that we already own. It's a 1972 Yamaha XS2. This was the second motorcycle that ended up on my bucket list. Mainly because I'd had a 650 before and loved it, and after digging deeper into the 650s, the Yamaha XS 650s, which I think is an amazing platform. I think they did it right. They built a great platform, a big twin. It really, they sound good, they ride good, they're super comfortable. And digging into it, and the more I dug into it and found this 72 Yamaha XS2, it became the one. It's like I had to have it. Number 6 is the 1972 BMW R75. I've already told you I'm a sucker for chrome side covers, and these toaster tanks are perfect. The styling of it is incredible. The engine is amazing. The BMW R75 toaster tank in particular. Don't give me that one without the chrome side covers. I don't want it. And number 7, the final motorcycle on my motorcycle bucket list, is a 1968 Honda CB450 K1. This is one I already own as well. This one was the first motorcycle on my motorcycle bucket list. And we were able to acquire it. We only paid $400 for it at auction, and then we went through kind of restoring it, if you will, making it a pretty rider. And I believe, in my opinion, the CB450 K1 is one of the best looking motorcycles. That's why it made our list. So guys, there's my motorcycle bucket list. It's an eclectic mix. Some of them aren't super rare, some of them aren't super valuable, but what they are super interesting to me, and that's all that matters. I want to know what's on your list. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments. Let me know what's on your list. I will share this with you that my list changes. This has become my GPZ 1100, 1983, has become a bucket list motorcycle. Meaning, it's never going anywhere. It's going to stay in the collection forever. It's going to stick there, just as though this Honda Dream is not going anywhere. It wasn't on my list, but it's one of those that's not leaving. Right? So it's understandable, and it's being able to see that, just as though this CB400A Honda Matic, which is Carrie's, is never going anywhere. This one, although it was not on my list, but it's not going anywhere. So I have some that weren't on my list, but that are going to be staples in the collection. Much like Jackson, our grandson's mini bike. It's not going anywhere. It's sticking around, right? Why? Because of the reasons why we got it. You know, that Honda Matic, because Carrie wanted one. You got to have a goal. You got to know what you're looking for, know what you're reaching towards, because you end up with the ones you have, which may not be the ones you want. And so how can we turn those into the ones we want? And that's what I use this bucket list for. Not to go, hey, look at me, these are the motorcycles I want, but they keep me focused and moving towards something, as opposed to just collecting motorcycles. Because that's what I was doing. I was collecting motorcycles that that were just cheap, that I didn't really have an interest in, except that they were super affordable. So guys, I want to thank you for watching yet another episode of Motorcycle Rewind, and do me a favor, like, tag, share, and follow us on Instagram at Motorcycle Rewind, and go and hit that subscribe button. And while you're in the subscribing mood, wander on over to our friends, Brickhouse Builds, Gold Guy, Moto Mango, Ace Cafe Bikes, Mile Zero Racers, Pete's Classic Cycle, and Lady Moto Bang, and give those guys a subscribe too. Thanks again, guys, and have a great day.